Accidentally in Love. Chapter 2. Crisis and Coffee. Jelly. Summary. Kusuo bargains, then bargains some more. Sato reveals himself. To say Kusuo is miserable would be an understatement. Comes noon on Sunday, he is sprawled across his bed, still in his pajamas, figuring out a million ways he could get himself out of lunch with Sato. Actually, 1,736,421 ways, the easiest of which is just to not show up. His real issue is this. Kusuo can't decide if he wants to go. On one hand, yes, absolutely, without a question. A day spent with Sato will go exactly as expected. They have friendly conversation over lunch and bond over their interests. It will be pleasant, if a bit uneventful. Perfectly uneventful. On the other hand, with Kusuo involved, it was bound to be eventful. The universe has cursed him with psychic powers and horrible luck. He attracts the weirdest of people and taints those considered ordinary into becoming weirdos themselves. To keep Sato within arm's reach would ruin his sacred normality. Then Kusuo remembers Sato has already been ruined by forces out of his control. Sato having a crush on him seemed completely out of the realm of possibility. But just as the universe loves to curse Kusuo, it also loves to remind him how wrong he is. This isn't what he wanted. He wanted Sato in his life so he could blend in more. Being in a relationship would achieve the opposite effect. Their school is filled with nosy brats who don't know how to mind their own business. And given Kusuo already has a reputation of being a loner, having a boyfriend will make him prime target for gossip. Wait, was this not the goal to begin with? Kusuo sits himself up, his worries made lighter with his sudden realization. That's right. He wanted a relationship with Sato beyond an acquaintance. He wanted them to be friends. Sato needs to be in his life for that to happen. He hops out of bed, crossing over to his dresser. Finding a decent shirt for the occasion, he pauses. It doesn't matter what he wants out of this after the relationship, because Sato wants more than Kusuo could give him, or is willing to give him. He folds the shirt back into the drawer it came out of. Then he whips it out again. Kusuo doesn't have to give him more. Sato literally thought so himself. All Sato wants is a connection, and so does Kusuo. They can both meet in the middle there. Besides, Kusuo has to assume whatever feelings Sato has for him are fleeting. Just a fancy-looking flower to be easily discarded once a bloom more enticing comes along to be picked. It's only natural for eyes to wander and thoughts as well. Unless you're Kusuo, that is. The lunch is officially on. Kusuo changes quickly because a frantic sidekick can still run late. He pockets his germanium ring for no other reason than he's technically going on a date and he's panicking. But it's not a date. He doesn't want it to be a date. It's not going to be a date for him. He just takes the ring because he may want to wear it. He needs to practice acting normal in public, after all. Who better to practice with than an average genius? Oh, and he's not panicking or frantic, let the record show. Just as his father pokes his head in to request something non-sensual, Kusuo appears just outside Cafe Mommy. He made sure to teleport into a nearby alleyway, should Sato happen to be walking that way, as he should be, given it's been 7 minutes since the time they decided to meet. Sure enough, Sato is just rounding the corner, late by an average amount of time. He's so proficient at being normal, it makes Kusuo want to cry. Kusuo steps out of the alleyway just as Sato reaches the front awning. He jumps back with a gasp. Ha! Seki-kun. Sorry, you scared me. An appropriate response, one Kusuo may or may not have goaded out of him. He finds himself smiling. No, that's my bad. I didn't mean to sneak up on you like that. Sato laughs, the sound like a squeaky toy. Calm down, Hiroshi. You just got here. Don't psych yourself out. After you. He opens the door for Kusuo. It's too late to back down now, even if Kusuo wanted to have second thoughts. That hardly matters because once he's seated he knows he's made the right choice, and not just because there's coffee jelly on the menu with his name beside it. There could never be a better time to meet up like this, with Kusuo purposely asking Sato to meet him when Meta would be off her shift. No witnesses, no fuss, just two guys getting a bite to eat, and 2 glasses of peach tea once the manager comes around to take their order. Hey, my favorite, Sato grins. Kusuo hides his smirk with his menu. Really? Well, lemon ginger is a close second, but I don't drink it as often. Only when my allergies are bothering me. Kusuo files that information away in his Sato folder. Huh. What else is your favorite? He asked as if he doesn't already know. For the hell of it, he whips up his sheet of Sato Hiroshi bingo. In his head, he won't need a free space. Well, I like to read. Jump is my favorite, though I guess that's not really a genre. Mysteries are what I read most. Romance is what he meant to say, like Sato. Kusuo pretends it remained unspoken. I like mysteries too, but I always get spoiled. It's no fun after that. Sato chuckles. Yeah, I know. It's so annoying. Feels like you have to go searching for one nobody talks about just to enjoy them. Kusuo's heart does this odd somersault in his chest. He tells himself it's just a palpitation. What else do you like? The manager comes by with their tea and takes their order. Sato orders something off the top of the menu, as expected, before continuing. I like playing video games. It might sound silly, but I love losing myself in an RPG. Getting to pretend I'm someone else for a bit is kind of freeing. Kusuo stills his heart with a hearty sip of his tea. His thumb rubs over the ring in his pocket. The feeling well known, though something about his answer irks him, like spotting a bug out of a corner of his eye, but having it disappear when he turns to look. He has to pry. Do you not like who you are? Sato glances down into his lap. Yes. Oh, I wouldn't say that. I like who I am as a person, but sometimes I feel like I fade away. There's no one notice me, but no one notices me. That I'm not remarkable enough to be worth anyone's time. His thoughts are contrasted by his smile. I just wish my life was more exciting, you know? It makes sense. Of course, someone so average would want to be more than what they are. Everyone fears being forgotten, and Kusuo is first drawn to Sato because he's so easily overlooked. He wants to take Sato by the shoulders and shake some sense into him. He wants to drill into his head that being forgotten is a good thing, that his life is perfect, and how could he ever wish for anything more? Sato Hiroshi would disappear in the blink of an eye and no one would notice. What a blessing, right? Kusuo watches the tips of Sato's smile twitch and eventually fall. He tries to mask his feelings with a sip of tea, but the sadness in Sato's expression cannot be hidden in his thoughts. Perhaps he isn't being fair with Sato. Not when others claim Kusuo's life is made perfect because of his powers. It doesn't matter how well others perceive your life, because you're the only one who's going to live it. All the ups and downs are yours to ride out. This is Sato descending into his personal depths, and Kusuo needs to accept that. Still, this changes things further. If he had known this version of Sato he admired so much was despised by the actual person, would he have come? It's a question Kusuo can't answer. Frankly, he really doesn't know what he would have done. What he does know is his desire to build Sato up is stronger than the one to tear him down. I think I can understand that. I also think you're just fine as you are. Sato blossoms into the softest smile Kusuo has ever seen. His aura must shift because Kusuo swears he's glowing, brighter and fuller than the sun could ever hope to match. I needed that. That's a really sweet thing to say. Thank you. So appreciative. so genuine, when all Kusuo really did was give him the barest compliments. He can't help but smile back. Their gaze lingers to the point Kusuo's face feels warm. He clears his throat for maybe the first time in his life. Got a favorite band? Sato lights up even more. Yeah, I love One OK Rock. I think I caught you listening to them once, actually. I mean, I wasn't. I was just walking past and I thought I heard, he's gonna think I'm spying on him or something. Please don't let him think I'm a creep. Kusuo sweats. You probably did. Also, bingo! I listen to them once in a while. Sometimes the rest of the world is just so noisy, so music drowns everything out. I guess their stuff is pretty loud too, so it works. They share a good laugh right as their orders arrive. The manager utters a polite thanks for Kusuo's continued patronage and adds an extra dollop of whipped cream to his jelly. Ooh, I should have tried that. I should have asked you your favorites too. How about food? Kusuo's response is to take a hearty spoonful of his coffee jelly and let his reaction tell the rest. Oh, coffee jelly. The bitterness of the coffee mixed with the sweetness of whipped cream. A match made in heaven, as cliche as it sounds. Not to mention the texture. How every bite practically melts into his taste buds, embedding itself into one's soul. He sighs, perfectly content. Oh, wow. Kusuo cracks his eye open, unaware he had closed it to savor the jelly. It's uncommon for someone's thoughts to completely stutter. Normally, the human brain is running 24/7, and we're overanalyzing everything it can take in. For those thoughts to just stop, it takes a good shock to the senses. The look on Sato's face is shock to Kusuo's senses, at least mouth agape, eyes sparkling, cheeks rosy, in awe. He's caught in a trance and flushes more once he comes to. He straightens up with a quick smile. I guess I know what it is then. When thoughts stop suddenly, they normally pick up even faster than before. Sato's thoughts now are a mixture of, oh no, he got me staring, and what do I do? 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 Kusuo's thoughts are about the same. What he decides to do after much debate is shrug it off and go back to eating like nothing ever happened, because it didn't. Nothing is happening here because Kusuo has decided so. A few bites in though, and somehow the flavor is dulled. Impossible. Kusuo's spoon hovers in air, bowing under his fingertips. I've got a big sweet tooth. Coffee jelly just happens to be the best dish ever made. All of Sato's anxieties are flushed away just like that. He's adorable. That's a pretty bold claim, he grins. Kusuo's anxieties, however, are here to stay. Well, you can try a bite if you want. What? Why did he just say that? Did he really say that? Did he really just say that? Really? If you don't mind. An exit. He should take it. Not at all. What is wrong with him? Sato picks up his spoon, carefully leaning across the table. He watches Kusuo's expression the entire time, waiting for a sign to stop. Is this okay? Kusuo doesn't tell him no. He can't bring himself to. This feels fine. It's okay for Sato to have a bite of his food. People share food all the time. But it's coffee jelly. It's the nectar of the gods. To share it with Sato as if he were just offering a chip from a bag. What is happening to him? Why is he suddenly alright with him? What's happening to this not being anything special? He doesn't want this. He doesn't want... Oh, to hell of it. He doesn't know what he wants anymore. How powerless Sato makes him feel. Like none of his powers could ever match his gentle smile. Kusuo could lift the entire world on his finger, but Sato could just easily hold his in his palm of his hands. He reaches out and whether with a spoon or phone number, and adds more to it. He added Kusuo to his world so effortlessly, over dessert no less. Sato's strength comes from clarity, knowing the only one who can get him what he wants is him. Kusuo's strength comes from his power that have shaped his life regardless if he wanted them or not. They influence his coming here, for crying out loud. How's Kusuo supposed to know what he wants if he doesn't even know who he is? Sato scoops a bit of coffee jelly onto his spoon and eats it. This is really good. Kusuo can't tell if he's thinking differently. The ring is cold around his index finger. Hey, are you okay? He jumps in his seat. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was lost in thought. Sato smiles again. No worries. I'm definitely ordering that next time. So, what do you like to do for fun? Come evening Sundays, Kusuo is sprawled across his bed again. The ceiling has begun to take odd shapes, his eyes having stared at it for too long. He runs through his responses to Sato, all of them generic, fabricated, not Kusuo. He needs to sort this out, this feeling taking over him, a mix of terror and excitement. The knife that cuts into a wedding cake, the shrill whistle of a firework before it explodes. So much good and so much bad. It makes him sick and energized. What is this? Oh no. No. Saiki Kusuo doesn't feel this. Never has. Never will. He could never be swindled by such a delusion, conjured by hormones and loneliness. He will not fall for the same trap the rest of humanity has fallen victim to. But the truth is, Kusuo has fallen. Like Sato before him, it just took a little more time to catch up. Saiki Kusuo has fallen in love.